Hello and welcome to another live stream. Today I'm streaming on a Thursday. Changed it up a little bit this week, but this will serve as our kind of midweek live stream. So I'm here talking today about just some things I've been working towards on the channel. So we've been talking about Crimea River quite a bit, so I'm putting together some chord melody ideas for that. That should turn into a new video. Also been talking a bit about tritone substitutions on the YouTube Shorts. So check that out. So come with your questions and comments, or just say a quick hello. And folks coming from kind of all over the world, welcome you here to work on some improvisation on guitar. Also released a podcast earlier this week, and I plan to do a couple more this week as well. So do a little kind of noodling around here for a couple minutes. But I'll be keeping an eye on the chat, so let me know what you all are into, what you've been working on. Good morning. All right. Okay. Hello, Willow. Thanks for joining today. I'll say I'm experimenting with something a little bit new. I'm streaming on, well, if all is going well, I'm streaming on Instagram, which I'm just kind of trying out as a trial thing, but I have no way of really monitoring it, but as far as I can tell. But perhaps I'm live streaming there as well. Who knows? So I did a bit of a talk on Crimea River, the improv. Oh, thanks Jason L, for your super chat. Definitely appreciate the support. So we have we had a little talk on some chord scales and some things to kind of consider, and so perspective I would recommend on improvising over tunes, kind of standard sort of tunes, is to think in really very basic music theory, basic music concepts of key centers and a bit of secondary dominance, and that will really take you very far. So if you have a tune like this, I was playing this tune in key of G. So if you have a tune like this, you want to think, key signature, key of 1 sharp, right? And then you want, to consider some of the closely related keys. So on any given tune that you're working on, and you can try to think, well, the chances are pretty good it's going to visit some of those key centers. So key 1 sharp, if you look at the circle of fifths, there's key of D major, and so you may see some of that. So if you're familiar with D major, play D major scale and then play the natural minor. We're going to touch on those key centers a little bit in this tune. So notice in the tune we go to the A7 or A13 in this case. So there's a C sharp there, and there's an F sharp there, right? So we can use that key signature and borrow from that key center. Also, when we go to the bridge, we spend a lot of time in B minor, right? And B minor shares that same key signature, key of 2 sharps, right? A minor can get a little bit complicated because we make a little bit of adjustments to it. So this will give us a more consonant sound than the natural minor kind of sound. So a minor 6. So you want to be kind of equipped with that when tunes go to minor. Also, the 2 and in particular the 5, you want to be able to create a leading tone towards the B by making the 5 chord the dominant 7. Right. And so understanding the relative minor and relative major within keys and closely related keys will help with all of that. You can also think in terms of mediants. So you have a G major. So if you go a third above that, B minor, and also a third below, E minor. So those can also get you to kind of closely related places. Okay, and then secondary dominance will also help to get you negotiating, kind of the chord changes of a tune. So let's say we're on this E7 flat 9. You might think about a 5 of the 2 chord to help you work with that part of the chord change. All right, I know a lot of folks like to watch this afterwards, or rewatch the live stream, so might be a good time to ask for your like and your subscribe. Turn on notifications and leave a comment. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if any of the things that I'm talking about kind of clicked for you today. I'll do a little more noodling here, and let me know if you have any questions. So a couple moments in the tune there, just playing through the changes of Crimea River. I used a little bit of the concept of tritone substitution, which kind of grabs the ear, I find, and kind of asks a little attention, of the listener, and kind of dials up a little bit of dissonance, right? So if I'm on a D7, I might try to play maybe A flat 7, just to kind of dial that up a little bit. So if I have a okay, so I'm just kind of swapping from the D7 to the A flat 7. And you can do this kind of midway. You can play D7, play, let's say, maybe 4 notes, and then go to A flat and play maybe 4 notes. Another thing to maybe kind of check into is the concepts of substitution and the concept of superimposing. So a substitution would stand in for something, And superimposing would basically be something like maybe taking a tritone and having it kind of go in a sense like against the D7. So you can have a D7 and then have let's say as a chord, I have a chordal player playing D7, and then you can maybe melodically play A flat 7 to create tension and release, and you can weave back and forth on that as well. Check out David Liebman. He wrote kind of a whole book on that. It's called the chromatic. To remember here, look that up. David Liebman. And David Liebman oftentimes played with a guitarist I really admire. His name is Vic Juris. He passed away, but really, I think quite an incredible player. Let me see if I can get that book name for you. So, okay, chromatic approach to jazz harmony and melody. So I'd recommend that. It's really good. I've got a copy of it. All right, let me check the live stream. It doesn't have tablature or anything like that, so it's sort of an all instrument kind of book. Now, in the on the shorts videos, what I've been doing is talking about comparing, right? So if you have a G7, take the root note and use a D flat, and keep the other notes the same, and just kind of go and compare those. And see the back and forth, to try to get a sense, kind of digging into it. But the way you might want to end up kind of using it is to try to do it so it's something a little bit different, right? So you have a G7, and then you do like D flat 9, and then you'll kind of hear that go to the C, right? So you can play, instead of G7, you might play D flat 9 and then play your resolution like that. So basically it sits a half step above where you're ending up. So this is a C major 9. Jensen C asks, what do you enjoy playing on ukulele? I've really enjoyed playing some of the Jake Shimabukuro, probably not pronouncing that right, and my apologies for that. But I like his arrangements on some things, so I enjoy playing that. I like doing the finger style kind of things, and I've also played around a little with doing some improvisation, which I plan to work into the channel at some point, or into the podcast. Do a little playing on this instrument, because I can plug this in. So that's kind of the plan. I need to kind of get my setup all situated, but I'm getting close, and it's still a little bit confusing for me to to improvise freely on it, although you wouldn't think it would be, but just having the um, only 4 strings and things like that. Yeah, and I teach ukulele mainly to kids, but some adults in the past. Yeah, I have a lot back there. No, so these instruments over on this side of me are mostly for folks to try out. They're kind of entry level instruments, and but I wanted to give folks the opportunity to come and for my local studio to come and try different sizes and things. So I've got soprano, tenor, baritone, concert. But I enjoy them a lot, and I want to play a bit more, but time is somewhat limited at the moment. But thanks for your question. This one is really kind of a special instrument there. I really like these Pono instruments. My son has one, and I have one, and so really kind of a fan of those. But I have done a couple videos, maybe not on this channel, but I did do an arrangement of what was it? Over the Rainbow by Jake Shimabukuro, and I think the recording turned out all right. It's probably on my other channel, Guitar Lessons channel, General Guitar Lessons channel. This channel is kind of more aimed at improvisation and stuff like that. But I have a couple of goals. Maybe I'll just mention a little bit. So for the live stream, I plan to play some things live with backing tracks and stuff, kind of similar to what you'd see when I do some of the regular videos, just not pre-recorded. So I'm working towards that, and getting really pretty close. So testing some things out with the podcast. So the podcast, I have been doing those live. In a sense, I do go and edit some of the empty space, and I do some additional processing on the audio. But so I'm trying to get that to kind of a live level and do that on here. But just playing just the guitar is good too. So. So back to some concepts on playing standards and tunes, is just to try to recognize key centers within chord progressions. So we talked about the bridge a little bit. So start thinking in B minor, if we're in the key of G for the tune overall, and you've got a 2-5, right? We go back to later in the bridge, we go to G or B major, and here you get a little bit into the concept of you might say chromatic mediants, where you have there are a couple of cases for this. So let's say you have a note that's included in your original key center, but you're going to the rather than going to what it naturally would kind of end up being a minor type of chord, go to the parallel major. Another circumstance is to have a note that is a third up, but is not in the key center. So you have something like B flat, which doesn't come up here necessarily, but that's another concept that you can try to work with. So when you're studying, you're doing all the scales and everything, focus on the key of the 1, the key of the 4, and the key of the 5. See if you can get those, because those are going to be often visited. And then also spend some time looking at third down from the G, which would be the relative minor, but also do like a major third down, because that's a nice effect that will come up in a lot of tunes too. So that's the chromatic median. And then minor third up, B minor, and or major third up, excuse me, B minor, and then minor third up, B flat, major. So those are some kind of well-worn paths on playing. And the harmony tends to visit kind of those areas, right? So especially the so the key of the 4, in this case C. So look at especially the relative minor of that. Also the parallel minor. That's also going to come up a lot. So the 5 chord, the key of the 5. So the C, the D, and then the relative minor that will come up. And a lot of times it will just come up as 5 of that, and then it will just never go to D, although sometimes it might. So takeaway there is spend some time with the circle of fifths and get to know the relative major and minor in those closely related keys, and also the maybe the third up as well, and the parallel major, parallel minor kind of things. So that will really serve you very well. Really, just kind of mastering the 5-1 relationships. So I just say this because I think a lot of folks kind of get lost in all the modes, and I think folks will benefit more from thinking in terms of key centers and the function of things if it's a tonal type tune. All right, everybody, just want to say thanks for joining me today, and I'm sorry about rescheduling out this week. I'm gonna do my best to stay with the Wednesday at 10:30 time, but and the Sunday at 10:30 time, but I may have to make some adjustments here as the schedule goes. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for watching. And if you are rewatching this, please comment. Let me know how you're doing on it. Please like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. All right, I'll see you all in the next one.